And there's certain products that I just love. These pie crusts, I think, if you want to spend your time in the kitchen making grandmother's recipe of pie crust, have at it. I think, if we can use some products that help us along, great. And I love the fact that they've started to come in rolls. I guess that's happened a couple years ago, because you don't have to. I remember when they first came out with this and you had the folded thing and you unfolded it and it never went back to the right thing. So I like this little roll. Okay, so just unroll it. And I've had this sitting out just so it gets a little bit easier to work with. We've got a mini muffin pan here. And I like to, if you're really good, you can take not this knife, but your little paring knife and cut a circle. Or you could just use a cookie cutter. These are in the refrigerated department. Yes. Really? This is great, because this is, one of the things that, exactly, your pies, your, whatever you want to do. I like to cut these in the little circles like this. You can bake these, make little tarts. You can bake these and, put your quiches in it, anything. And it's already done. It's sort of a last minute thing that you can do. And you can get quite a few out of one pie crust. It comes 2 in a box. I've already cut up. And you can actually, I don't usually roll these out. Again, a lot of times at Christmas time or when you really need them, they're on sale, so they're relatively inexpensive. And you could also cut this bigger if you wanted to use your regular muffin pan. Sometimes if you're making like little pies, or sometimes even with the quiche, you might want to bake this just a little bit, just so it's not as, doesn't get soggy. Okay, so here's those are ready. We're going to make the mixture. And I just got the already cooked chicken from the meat department. If you had any leftover chicken, or if you have any leftover turkey at these times, then you can use that. We've got some Monterey Jack cheese already shredded, some sliced olives we're going to put in, a little bit of sour cream, some pimentos, and when we get them out of the oven, we're going to top them with some green onions. So I'm going to grab a bowl here. And because of the size of the tarts, I like to kind of chop everything a little bit fine. You certainly wouldn't want to put, get this open. You certainly wouldn't want to put a big hunk of chicken like that in there. You'd want it a little bit smaller. Think about the space you're going to put it in. So we're going to just chop this up a little bit. And then again, you can also use, like I said, turkey, any leftover. I think this mixture would probably be not too bad with ham, if you had ham left over. Get that in there. We've got our Monterey Jack cheese. These are sliced, but I'm just going to chop them up just a little bit. Pimentos drained. I did drain them. That's about, you know how I hate having a little bit left over, so that's close enough to 1/3 cup. Our sour cream, 1/4 cup, I believe, goes in there. And here's our mixture.
Particular, Sue, with the kinds of cheese. You're saying Monterey Jack. Could it be just sharp cheddar?
Sure.
Or Parmesan or
I don't know whether I would use Parmesan. Yeah, it might be a little bit too salty with the olives, but I would certainly try the cheddar. Some of the blends, you know, we've got so many good blends now. Later on, we're using the pizza blend. That does have some Parmesan in it, but it wouldn't be totally all Parmesan.
how about Swiss?
So I think Swiss would be excellent in here. It's, you know, that's one of those things where that's just your taste. Because all the, you know, cheeses that you mentioned all go with chicken, all go with olives. So it would just be a matter of what you want to do. Now, if you use cheddar, you'd have to remember that's going to change the color. So if that wouldn't bother you, I don't know that that would really be that offensive to have cheddar in there. And I think the recipe will fill about 36 of these. And that was just one pie crust I had, plus a couple left over.
What's the difference between appetizer, hors d'oeuvres, and heavy hors d'oeuvres?
Appetizer and hors d'oeuvres are the same thing. If you're going to something that's heavy hors d'oeuvres, that just sort of means that you want that you're not going to have quite dinner, but you're not going to have, you're going to have something a little bit more substantial than chips and dip. A lot of times heavy hors d'oeuvres would mean some sort of meat, you know, maybe a meatball thing, or, you know, some maybe mini roast beef sandwiches or something like that. You'd want a little bit something more heavy if you were going to go with heavy hors d'oeuvres. And also that I think sometimes signifies what time you're having your food. At 6 o'clock, you would want to have something called heavy hors d'oeuvres if that's all you were going to have, because people are going to come hungry. Whereas if you were just going to have, you know, some hors d'oeuvres or some appetizers at, you know, 7:30, you could go a little bit lighter, because chances are people have kind of eaten their dinner, and, you know, you don't have to feed people, because like I said, if you have anybody over at 6 o'clock, they're expecting a dinner, so they want the heavy hors d'oeuvres, a little bit more food. Okay. I hate that slopping on that, but I'll live with it. We're going to get these in the oven. I've got the oven set at 400. Okay, and let's see. We'll try 15 minutes. Okay, then we're going to chop a few onions up here. To put on as a little garnish. This also added a nice little color. And here's our little chicken and olive pastries. We'll let them sit in the pan for a minute. Oops, let's put our little onion on here. And you just want this for a little bit of color. Those look very Christmassy with the red and green. You want to be very careful if you're using one of your good muffin tins that you don't scrape these.